Here's yet another veteran Republican campaign strategist laying out exactly why he thinks Donald Trump is going to lose. Matt Wylie was just on my podcast, and he's run campaigns for Republicans like Chris Shays, Lisa Murkowski, and Herman Cain. And he explained exactly what numbers he's seeing and what strategic mistakes Trump has made that makes Matt so confident that Harris will win.
I think the fundamentals of this election are problematic for Republicans. And again, let me be clear. I don't want Harris to win. I just don't think Trump's going to. And I look at places like North Carolina as a prime example. In the last 4 elections in North Carolina, the Republican has gotten 49.4, 50.4, 49.8, and 49.9. We're not tapping out very high here. And one other thing has happened during the pandemic. North Carolina has gotten 500,000 new independent voters that probably came from New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, maybe Pennsylvania. They registered independent. There's a Democrat advantage, but if you came in and you register as an independent, you're not a Trump supporter. Because if you moved into North Carolina and you support Donald Trump, you hung the MAGA flag, you registered Republican, you're good to go. But right now, I think Harris wins North Carolina. I think those independents break her way, and with no ground game, there's no way to pull out those traditional Republicans that we've relied on to squeak out wins in North Carolina. And 500,000 new voters that are independent that may lean Democrat is that percentage point Harris needs to win. And I think what we're not talking about, because we're a lot of smoke and mirrors on the Republican side, is we go to MSG and we talk about how we're going to win. We're going to talk about 20,000 people in this deep blue state that's rallying for Trump. And we're going to say all the weird stuff to try to lose the election, like Puerto Rico is a floating pile of garbage. Like, how are you going to win Hispanic Puerto Rican votes in key states by having a comic say that in advance? But when you do all of this, all you're trying to say is we're going to win because you're hoping to depress the Democrat vote. But the reality is they have problems. I think they have to know it. Otherwise, they're just in la la land. And if Republicans don't do something soon, we're going to see ugliness on election day. If I'm on Team Trump and I'm running this campaign, what's my plan? The things they needed to do, they didn't do months ago. They seem to completely ignore the fact that suburban women hate them. They voted against them in 2018, 2020, 2022. Republicans have not come to grips that when suburban women say no to us, that they mean it. So what do they do instead? They double down on trying to bring out white men, young white men. And so I think this testosterone-filled, cringe-worthy rally they do in New York City was really only to try and do 2 things. Is let's drive up our turnout. Let's try to depress Democrats. Let's just give them a message. We're in deep blue New York, where Trump got 27%, I think, in New York City last time, or 24%. And let's present this idea that we're going to win. Look at all this game is over. Just stay home. Don't worry about it, Democrats, because Harris is never going to win. And I think that's their only message. And if they were smart a month ago, they would have started trying to develop more and more about these coalitions. Look, we missed a historic opportunity this year to pick up Black and Hispanic votes. The blue wall was crumbling under Joe Biden. They just couldn't. We had a great opportunity to go after them. We could have started beginning with inroads, picking up a couple percentage, 10% more this time, and we could have really changed the dynamics of this race for a generation to come. But then Donald Trump thought his mugshot on a T-shirt was enough, and so that's what we do. And then we double down on everything that has been said that just made it worse and worse, to the point of our voters just don't exist in a coalition that can get us over 50% in the swing states. That's not going to matter in South Carolina, Alabama, Florida probably. But the reality is, in the states that we need them, and this is where I think Harris has been brilliant as a strategist, not as a Republican, but as a strategist. She has been brilliant in understanding the assignment. She's understood that it's Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, North Carolina now, that let's talk to these voters that are persuadable. Let's keep them on our side. I mean, in 2022 in Pennsylvania, Republicans lost to Fetterman. Fetterman was recovering from a stroke at the time. Like, he could barely campaign. It wasn't they didn't like Dr. Oz as much. It's that they hated Donald Trump. And so in Pennsylvania, they voted for Fetterman over Oz. In Georgia, we lost the Senate race. In Arizona, Kari Lake lost. It's in all these states, women voters said no to the Trump or the Trump endorsed candidate. And instead of learning from that, we doubled down. And what Harris has done is said, wait a minute, if they're not going to vote for Trump, if they're not going to come home, if women are going to decide this election, then let's just make sure they're ready to vote for me. Let's give them enough to continue to be on my side and remind them of why they don't like Trump. And Harris has understood the assignment. Trump and his team seem to be just going in a different direction. He's running the same tired 2016 campaign like he's the new guy in town, but he's the well-known, well-disliked candidate.